Horizon School Division. Horizon School Division is the operating partner of the Humboldt Early Years Family Resource Center. Partners Family Services is the staffing partner of the Humboldt Early Years Family Resource Center. And then we have a community board of directors that are our advisory committee for the Humboldt Early Years Family Resource Center. And from now on, if I say HEYFRC, it's just saving me some words. So, as I was saying, and as you just witnessed, this center is very much a community-based organization. And it provides families easy access to a wide variety of services for children, aged prenatal to 5 years old, as well as their parents and caregivers. The HEYFRC follows a model of integrated services that provides a framework for intersectoral collaboration and for combining the interests, expertise, resources of our local service providers. It is focused primarily on supporting healthy child development and positive parenting skills for families within the city of Humboldt and the surrounding area. I would like to begin with a land acknowledgement that in Humboldt we are on Treaty 6 territory, homeland of the Métis. We are grateful to the Cree, Dene, Saulteaux, and Métis people for the ability to learn, live, love, and work on their traditional lands, and we pay our respects to the elders and Elder Stuart Bildernose, who's joining us today. We dedicate this resource center to the 12th call to action of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission to develop culturally appropriate early childhood education programs for Aboriginal families. I would like to welcome our honored guests, Her Honorable Deputy Minister Donna Harpower, Deputy Premier.
Minister of Finance.
Okay, do we have a HEYFRC for that? Okay, let me start again. We would like to Honorable Deputy Premier, Her Honor Donna Harpower, who is also the MLA for the Humboldt and area. Watrous? Okay. She will correct everything that I've done wrong today. Yes. Our Director of Education for Horizon School Division, Mr. Kevin Geringer, and Deputy Mayor, Mr. Larry Jorgensen, who is, oh, right there. Can I just do an about face and okay, regroup. We also welcome the boards of directors for Partners Family Services, our trustees from Horizon School Division, the advisory committee members, and any community members who have joined us today, as well as the media from Humboldt and the surrounding area. We are grateful for your attendance. This morning we were gifted with a smudge ceremony by Elder Stuart Bildernose from George Gordon First Nation. We are honored with his presence, and we would like to welcome him to come and offer a prayer to open this proceedings. Tobacco has been shared prior to this meeting. Elder Bildernose.
Good morning to everybody that's here. Glad you show up for this. I'm much obliged for being here to share a few words with you before I say a prayer. So glad to be here to do things for my people all across Canada. Think of all those people and our native people, our white society. You know, we can pull together, make one big community for all of us to work together, to hear us, speak out, talk to one another, pass the word on. I've been doing this now for quite some time, traveling around, meeting different people, different organizations, praying for the people. This year I got goes a long ways when I get something like this. I feel good, I feel proud of it, because I use this in a lot of ways, in my travel, in my speaking, talking to people. This year we use from way above us here, our Creator is a gift we always get when we do something for people. And I want you to understand why I accept this. This is an honorary way of doing things for us people too. And we'll do that for you back in return. And I want to thank you for this. I would like to have you people stand for the prayer, please. Muta, kakeo ge kanipa wicek, ke papik square kote kayas mantu, ke we pay we ichihiak on us to takats keak. Kayas mana kukumanan, masumanan, kipe tuyo kote kayas, ipiats kecek, kwes itu tamak on us to takanipa wiak. Kwes kukumanan ote, wahu ke peyo stit, pe pik square vista. Ganawa este no te, ganawa pama ako ke, ay sino ke pam ats ke chek, kwes kumay ats ke chek ote kayas, aksimana ote, akwechamanan ote mantu kape wichi hiya kunas ota kanipa waya, akamana tamit sayak, ote kayas, ay sino ke pipik ko papesta o ki wistama atan ki kway, kwes kitu tumakanus ota, ote kayas mana, ote kapeos tiyak, o kumanan ki tuyo, kispenoka, kiats kicek, ote kakwechamanan ote mantu ote, kayas mana ki papik sko kwistwao, ya kwitzik, kwes kamay tutamak ote kakwemit siyak, kakumanatikiwe yak, wapaki ote, ape wapit magan, kayas ote, ote kayas ote mantu kito kispen ota epewichi hiya kanostota agumana timit sayak ikiwa aksimana mo tawi kito akame mo kwesama itu tama kanostota haksi. Okay.
Thank you for that prayer. It was so important for us at this center that we begin in a good way, because this is a center that welcomes all families and all children. And we appreciate the spirit that the language and culture brought to our center this morning and the blessing of the smudge ceremony. I'd like to now ask Her Honor, the Honorable Donna Harpower, Member of the Legislative Assembly for Humboldt Watrous, to bring greetings.
Thank you for that. I didn't know if I was speaking or not, so I'm going to speak from the heart. I've got nothing prepared. Community starts with a strong family, and strong families make strong communities. So that is why this resource center is so important for this community. I know that there are times where children may have developmental issues that parents are frustrated. They're not sure where to start or where to go, and this is the resource that they need. There's also families that have stress factors, none other than what we've seen over the last 2 years of what we've gone through as a province and as a nation and as a world. And to have just that support, to have a place to go to steer you to where you need to go maybe, is critical. I can't express enough how important family is to me. It's my support. It's been my support through my entire life, definitely through my career's choices, and just through the stressful times that we've had here. And I have grandchildren now, and they have issues, and so resource centers such as this are critical to make for a strong family, a strong community, and a strong province. So I commend those that have worked very, very diligently to make this a reality for this community, and thank you so very, very much.
Thank you. I would now like to call on Deputy Mayor. Have I got that right? Stumbling over my words. Councillor Larry Jorgensen to bring remarks from the City of Humboldt.
Thank you. Good morning. Well, 30 years ago when I first moved to Humboldt, this was a turbo gas station, I believe. It was one of the places to go on Friday night when you needed to know where the party was. So it's great to see that it's still being put to use. I know this building's fairly new, but even it has been a pizza place, a church, I can't remember what else. So it's great to see that it's being put to yet another use, and particularly this one. I know as the Deputy Premier and the MLA knows, Mayor Behill, mental health and addiction support is very important to him, and Council is behind him on that support. And we're hopeful facilities like this will be part of kind of the long-term solution for that, because starting early, with the proper, supports for families and things like that is very important. The other thing I would point out is we're very fortunate to be living in one of the more prosperous areas of the province, and with prosperity comes growth, and with growth comes more people, obviously, and so we're going to need more and more of these supports. So it's great to see the Horizon School Division and the other partners who are getting together to create this facility, and hopefully there'll be more of them to come. Okay, so on behalf of City Council and the citizens of our community, it gives me great pleasure to be here as we celebrate this grand opening. We all share in the vision of supporting new parents and the healthy development of their young children to help create brighter futures for them and our community. Research has shown that children between the ages of 0 and 5 years who are well supported and nurtured physically, emotionally, socially, and intellectually will develop in ways that will serve them well throughout their life. Thank you to the Horizon School Division and Partners Family Services and all those involved who brought this valuable service to the young families in our community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Jorgensen. One thing that we know for sure is early intervention is a powerful and very important tool that we have to support our earliest learners. Of course, Horizon School Division has a vested interest in providing support for children, both when they enter our schools and prior to entry. And right now I'd like to turn the microphone over to Director of Education, Mr. Kevin Geringer, to bring remarks from Horizon School Division on behalf of the board.
I just wondered, I think I'm...
You can tell them.
Okay. Thank you so much, Catherine. This is the last time I'm sitting in the front row because she's kind of getting a little perturbed with me. So it's like Deputy Premier, Minister of Finance, MLA for Humboldt Watrous. Anyway, I do want to begin just by, first of all, thanking Elder Bitternose for the prayer this morning. And it's so grateful to have you join us and be part of the opening of this important center. I just want to share a quick story with you. When this came to our attention, the Ministry of Education, one of the Assistant Deputy Ministers, Jerry Craswell, called me, and I wasn't even in the office, and he said, we have this opportunity. And it really stemmed from work that we'd been doing just prior to this opportunity. We'd done a major assessment of children who were basically about 3 months to prior to school age, and Catherine had led that assessment across our entire system. And it was identified that we have needs, and we have children who need to be in programming to support early years. And so it was through that conversation then that I took it to our Board of Education and said, this is what we have an opportunity to do, and they were very excited about it, and of course very supportive. They have had a passion for early years right from the very first day, and probably long before that, the first day that I stepped foot in this system. And they've even gone so far as to appeal to SSBA to try and enhance programming opportunities for children, not only in Horizon but across the province. So I certainly thank our Board of Education for the incredible work that they've done. And then of course we have to reach out and find, as we take this on, we have to have as an operating partner, we have to have a partner who is going to look after the human resources essentially, and look after the people piece and that sort of thing. And it didn't take long before we were able to land partners. And what a tremendous relationship that we have had with Partners Family Services over the last number of years. They have been an important resource, as we know, for many different things that have happened and some of the very tragic things that have happened in our community and area. But they've also been a tremendous partner in just helping to provide us with resources and provide support for children, and now to provide support here. So their executive director, Haley Kennedy, is here, and just want to thank you, Haley, for being part of this and being such an important part of this team. I also just want to acknowledge, of course, that there's a board. There's a board, an advisory board that has been created that encompasses people from a number of different areas within this community and beyond. And we couldn't do this without them. And so I just want to acknowledge the HEYFRC Advisory Board and each member who is part of that board for the work that they have done to help build this and create the vision and create the opportunity now that our staff will operationalize, or that the HEYFRC staff will operationalize. It's not our staff. I want to be careful. But anyway, I want to acknowledge them and the incredible work that they have done. I want to obviously acknowledge our HEYFRC coordinator, Emily Gutowski, and as well thank her for all the work that she has done. She's set up here, and we had a support person who was also an assistant who was also going to be working, and unfortunately she's moved recently, so it's kind of created some more pressure for Haley, and we support that work as well. But nonetheless, want to thank Brooke Mueller and everything that she has done as well. Finally, I really want to thank Catherine and Haley in particular who have provided incredible leadership through this. And I even know that they've done some heavy lifting. And what I mean by that is I saw Catherine last night carrying a speaker to one of the vehicles. So I know even literally she's been doing some heavy lifting, and I know Haley's done the same. It's true that you need leadership to move things forward, and it's funny because when these ideas come to us, it's like, well, now there's this opportunity. How are we going to make it happen? We lean on people in our organizations and in our communities to be able to make it happen. And these are the people that, like Haley and like Catherine and like the board, these are the people that are the ones that really get to work and make this a possibility for our children. It takes a village to raise a child, they say. And it also takes a village to create the opportunities that are necessary for children. And you've given great thought and consideration, all of you, for every aspect of this center, every piece of equipment and every support that will be provided for the learning of our children and support of our families. We are honored to be joined by a number of dignitaries, and I do want to thank Her Honor Donna Harpower for being here, as well as Mr. Jorgensen, our Deputy Mayor, and as I mentioned, Elder Bitternose. And then the Board of Directors from Partners Family Services, and of course, as I've also mentioned, the Board of Education from Horizon, the Advisory Committee, as I've mentioned as well, and just the many community partners and the media personnel who are here in support of this. This is such an important opportunity to have community and people here to recognize the importance and value that this is going to have for Humboldt and area. So I just want to acknowledge them as well. On behalf of Partners Family Services, Haley's asked me to just say a few words on behalf of both organizations. So, and Horizon, our Board of Education, we'd just like to acknowledge a couple of things, and in particular, the Ministry of Education, the Early Years Branch in particular, who've been a huge support, but who were also involved, the Ministry of Education, in bringing us this opportunity, but also to the Government of Saskatchewan for providing these opportunities for communities. This is not the first of its kind. There are many in the province. There were 10 before the last number were announced. And so the government thinks deeply about the importance of providing supports for early for early years children and families. And so they've been thinking about that for a long while, and now we have the opportunity to have it support the children within this area, both from Horizon School Division, pre-Horizon School Division, and of course Greater Saskatoon Catholic Schools. Just a tremendous opportunity for support that way. And I know that it's pretty wonderful to have a partnership with Greater Saskatoon Catholic Schools, and I know Terry Fredette is here, and Terry's a superintendent with them, and we've reached out. I know that Catherine and her have had many conversations, and Haley the same, about what it looks like, because they already have those opportunities, and they've already had some of that in some other areas within their jurisdiction. So being able to lean on them has been an important aspect of what we need to do to make sure that this center provides the best opportunities it can. I don't think we can underestimate the impact it's going to have on Humboldt area, HEYFRC. We know that early childhood development, as Larry talked about, sets a foundation for lifelong learning. It sets a foundation for behavior and for health. We know that play is how children learn to master their environments and how they test things and satisfy their curiosity. This natural drive for play mirrors another equally important life skill, and that's resiliency. And so the experiences children have in early childhood shapes their brains and their capacity to learn, to get along with others, and to respond to daily stresses and challenges. And certainly we've experienced our fair share over the last number of years. Simply put, today's early years programming will contribute to tomorrow's healthy, well-adjusted, and confident adults. And that's really what this is about. The importance of early years on adulthood is, without question, it's well-researched, and it's very clear how valuable this is to supporting our children. So HEYFRC will support the families and children ages 0 to 5. As Catherine mentioned, all families are encouraged to be part of this programming. However, another wonderful opportunity is the support the center is going to provide to those families who have additional needs. And so HEYFRC will provide family-friendly play spaces and free programming, access to healthy services, and referrals to agencies who support the developmental needs of children. And I don't know, I'm kind of going off script, and I do that once in a while, and I apologize to Catherine, but if you haven't had the opportunity, go onto the website and check out the website at heyfrc.ca. And it's tremendous, and there's a place there where even as families you register for your child to come, because we want to manage the number of families that are here, obviously. So being able to have that type of registration process is really critical, and it's so well set up, and it'll make it very easy for our families, which is really important to us as well. So Partner Family Services and Horizon have a well-established relationship, as has been mentioned. I actually have a couple of employees of mine who sit on the board of directors, and so we're very fortunate to have that kind of relationship with partners and with Haley, of course, and the supports that are provided to our children and families already through that organization. But we share values of trust, of accountability, of relationship, and of a commitment to nurturing strong communities. We couldn't ask for a better partner as we work to create safe spaces where children and their caregivers can reach their full potential. And so just really blessed to have that opportunity. Andy Hargraves, a famous, I know that Terry would know who that is, and probably a lot of others would know who Andy Hargraves is. But Andy Hargraves put it this way, and I thought this is how I'd like to wrap up. A first-class system of early childhood education is the hallmark of a caring and civilized society. So we couldn't be more thrilled to contribute to the betterment of Humboldt area with this valuable resource. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kevin. And I would just like to reiterate some additional thank yous for the staff of Horizon School Division who supported this center, our facility services, our financial services, our early learning coaches, and others, and our media person, Jesse, who is over in the corner.
So I'm moving to the back.
And again, with Partners Family Services, their staff has been instrumental in helping with the small details. Trina was here this morning helping us with cupcakes and cutting up fruit, and we've had other of Haley's staff over supporting all kinds of pieces. So there's a lot of background pieces that we've just had a myriad of support. And then for those of you who've come and toured the center and given your feedback and have helped to improve what is happening here and will continue to do so. So we'd like to move right now to the official ribbon cutting to officially open this center. Following the ribbon cutting, we will do a formal tour. I know you've had a chance to kind of look around, but I'd like to just kind of help you to see the deliberateness and purposefulness of this center and the way that it has been created and visioned. And so we'll do the ribbon cutting first, and then we'll follow with that tour, and that should wrap up our morning. Ready? Yay. Thank you so much.
At least it was you who got it.
Well, I think I'm going to end up having to write lines and practice speeches after this, so.
Write your time over and over again.
Yeah, and send apologies and to all of you, so. We would like to at some point, well, and maybe we can get a picture of the whole group of us. I had kind of envisioned us in front of the healing tree, but maybe we're not going to be able to do that. We have such a fabulous response. I'd like you to join me on a short tour of the center, and I'm just going to do it from here and then allow you to kind of explore the center so that you can kind of see what the intention is. When you entered the center, you would have seen the signage above the door, as well as on the entrance of the door. This represents 4 pillars and 4 colors and 4 commitments. So the orange color of our logo represents early learning, which is one of our pillars, and our commitment to Indigenous families. The yellow represents the pillar of parenting education and our commitment to blended and atypical families. Dark blue represents the pillar of family wellness and our commitment to immigrant and new Canadian families. And light blue, our pillar of information and referrals to supporting agencies and our commitment to education of all families. Throughout the center, everything has been selected with deliberate purposefulness to be inclusive of all children, infancy to 60 months of age, and to support the developmental growth in the areas of fine motor, communication, gross motor, problem solving, and personal social development through a play-based environment. All of the graphics that you see, from the exterior sign, the logo, and the simple artistic elements on the walls of the center, were developed locally by Graphic Ad here in Humboldt. The first thing you may have noticed when you entered the center is the welcome in English and other languages. This represents the immigrant families and all of the languages of all of the families throughout the Humboldt and area. You will also have seen the land acknowledgement, which was created by our very own Amanda Musume. And the Cree syllabic translation is Mother Earth, which ties to our connection and relationship with the land. Through the doorway, you will see, throughout this great space, we have our infant and toddler area, kind of under the tree. Infants can develop in communication, fine motor, and gross motor. Our early childhood trained personnel will join parents and caregivers in modeling how to interact with babies and toddlers and offer opportunities for parents to ask questions and receive support in a conversation and informal way. The other areas in the Great Room offer opportunities for preschool-age children to interact with materials and learning provocations to capitalize on natural curiosity and creativity. What you see here is primarily unstructured, imaginative play, but also some structure through the the deliberate placement of sensory bins and materials strategically set out for discovery and oral language development. We also utilize this space for more structured programs that we may offer that we bring in from outside agencies, such as art therapy, music therapy, other programs that are offered through our community partners. The doorway that way leads to our quiet room, which is our self-regulation space for children to go, where there's less distraction of noise or the busyness. Mothers may bring their infants either to nurse or rock them. Families can sit comfortably with their children and read or take some quiet time out, or a child may choose to sit and self-regulate in the teepee structure and have some alone time. Of course, there's always a connection to emergent literacy throughout all of our centers, except maybe our girls' play. We don't have many books in there. One important aspect of our kitchen is our coffee maker. The Resource Center serves as a place for children to play, but also for parents and families to connect with other families. So you have seen the beverage bar in the hallway set up strategically. Parents and caregivers can stand at the counter, converse with one another, and still have complete visual sightlines to all areas of the play center. And so we won't have parents who are cluttered together while children are behind them. They will always be able to see their children and interact with them. This windowed area behind me is where we will set up our indoor play structure. It is still on order. It was deliberately designed to allow sightlines for busy preschoolers if a parent is not right beside them. So a parent may be working with their infant and toddler and still have access to see what their preschooler is doing. The door, or the walls and the doorway cut down on the noise a little bit, so it will be a little bit more of a loud, noisy, fun place for children to interact. Outside of our center, because we were designing this in the wintertime, we weren't able to put our outside learning space, but you will see the tree to my right, your left of the building, and that will provide us with an outdoor play area, which will be fenced for safety, of course, but will allow us to have some outdoor learning centers as well. We have 2 washrooms with lots of space for families in both. The child washroom has a child-size porcelain facility with a gradual step to the sink for sink access to for children of all heights. Both washrooms have infant change tables, so families with multiple children can be in there together as needed. So I'd invite you to roam throughout the center, play if you choose to. We have some things out. We're anticipating having families having access to the center as early as March 21st, pending some flooring installation pieces that we still have to have happen. As you're exploring the center, if you have any feedback for us, things that you might see that would enhance what we have here, I know it's been very, very fun to create the space, but all minds make for a better center, and that's the advantage of having an advisory committee. We've already received a lot of feedback through the whole process, but even as we've sort of begun this installation. So if there's anything that you would see that we might add to our center, we would love to hear from you, and we welcome you to enjoy the center. Thank you for coming together and for your attendance. This is a lovely gathering of adults. But I echo the sentiment of our last advisory committee meeting that we can't wait to see little bodies in this center. Thank you so much.